quemarte solo con una pizca. Arriba y abajo, prendimos, apagamos. Arriba y abajo, prendimos, apagamos. Nunca baila, baila conmigo, que yo el paso te sigo. Seamos más que amigos, amigos, amigos. Baila, baila conmigo, que yo el paso te sigo. Seamos más que amigos.
All right, what's up? Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's been a very, very, very good morning so far. And if you're just getting started, then good morning. Hopefully you run your day very, very well today. But I'm pretty excited here in the aspect of just getting it ready for the week, right? So before anything, what we're going to do is we're going to open up these charts because I know many of you guys are pretty much ready to get it started and running here. So let me actually get this screen to come over here real quick. But it's been a pretty long night, I would say, from last night. I feel like time's just kind of going pretty fast lately and in a good way. Oops. And yeah, we're just here pushing it as we go through. So here we go. Where are we at? Perfect. Well, let's get it. I mean, first and foremost, if you're brand new here, then the first thing you want to know is like inside trading, right? The goal is for you to really be able to look for these markets, look for these opportunities, and see what exactly you're able to gravitate here. And what a wowzers, this is gold here that was previously looked at, and I'm going to explain that when we go back here. But as we go through MYM, because I know currently right now we are on the future side currently, and many of you guys just want to kind of look at the markets there specifically. So if you are trading futures, what we're going to look at first is see what's going on with MYM, okay? And first and foremost with MYM, I mean, what we're starting to notice here is MYM actually was trading below here into these levels, worked its way pretty much higher, left this insane large wick behind, which if you're not familiar, large wicks typically get filled in because it's pretty much considered liquidity in the market's eyes. So over time, trades halfway in before eventually the market comes back, returns, and sweeps it out. Now looking to the left side here for MYM, we can see that with MYM, when it's swept all the way down, it also took out previous lows here as well, last few weeks here before trading back above, right? And here, when we drop down to that 30-minute time frame, I personally see a setup where we did have this nice liquidity sweep before the institutional candle that did push up very aggressively here. And then obviously you have the imbalance that trades right below, maintaining structure before it actually reverses and trades inside this area, right at the wick of the box here specifically. But if I go to the 1 hour, I can kind of modify this and say, like, okay, this was the actual institutional push. Because whenever I am looking for these motions that happen, my intention is to look for that the beginning of the institutional candle. And so you can actually see here that with the market, you saw the institutional candle just push up very aggressively in that area before the imbalance traded below here, maintaining structure and very quickly mitigated inside this. But currently, right, now that we break this down here, you guys can kind of see that market is starting to, starting to trade up a little bit more higher, but we're going to drop down the time frames and actually get some real feedback. Just give me 1 second. I'm just trying to connect this real quick. No, my mic to die on you guys, and give me a second. Perfect. And so here, when we drop down to the smaller time frame, you can see that with MYM, when it trade above, very fast movement, now slowly working its way up higher. Um, my question would be is MYM going to want to maintain this part? Because very interesting to see also on a 5-minute time frame, MYM sweeping this liquidity down here below, right? And then also had this motion here with this institutional candle that we do see here. The only thing is that if we maintain this, we would want to see it for quite some time for us to potentially see a buying opportunity here for us to get something like this. And so, if you're wondering, well, aren't you trying to go for a sell currently? I mean, the sell opportunity would have been at this entry point here, right? It would have been around this area here if we're getting for a sell. So currently, this overall setup is technically over for me unless, there is a re-entry, but I don't really see anything that I personally like for re-entries for MYM. I would kind of consider that to be kind of just left out on its own. Unless we go to NQ, let's see what NQ got going on. And for NQ, for the 4 hour time frame, let's kind of zoom out here quick. I mean, we're still at these all-time highs here, nearly at the highs. And NQ actually is building up that liquidity, right? It's about to create that shape where eventually we're gonna see a big burst either to the upside or we can even see it to the downside over here. And so if we're in that area where NQ could probably just fly through anything on either or side, if I drop down to that smaller time frame and see, is there an opportunity for NQ? Even when I'm looking at NQ, you see the market just kind of building up that liquidity, on a 1 hour time frame, liquidity being swept here below, institutional candle, but market reverses back to the upside as price shifts back lower here, starting to trade up above again. This could have been like I can see this, that it mitigated. But now that this was a buying opportunity, is there a way? Give me a second. I'm sorry. Thank you. Is there a way here where we can get NQ to find out buying opportunity as well? But also, if we drop down to this 1 minute time frame, and let's change the line graph real quick just so you guys can see what actually happened right over here. Funny enough, we had this nice liquidity being built up, the institutional push to the upside, imbalance, dropping down lower. And now we're actually seeing the price on a candle aspect, it actually traded right in there. So it looks like we are barely coming into the party for this. I mean, we do see that the market actually is starting to trade into areas that could have been a very good, right? A good mitigation setup. But here is where the market just did that mitigation there. And so if you go to ES or MES, MES pretty much is now trading above. No quality setup here on the reason why, but I mean, the market just trade above, swept this high out before it actually shifted back lower. And so looking at to see where MES is, I do see that there's actually equal lows below here that we're starting to see inside this area. Maybe if we ship down to that 5 minute time frame here, could we find a quality setup? The only thing I do see is when we have all this liquidity being swept, we had this institutional candle, market trades above, trades below here, gave it still some room before actually sweeping this low and continue to the upside. And what I'm seeing here specifically with MES, if you drop down to one, well, let's go on a 2 minute. Let's see. If you go on a 2 minute time frame, I mean, you have still somewhat of a quality area where we had all of this being built up for MES. Then you had this institutional move to the downside before the market actually shifted above more higher. And so interesting to see for MES that we're actually building up some sort of area. But before anything, I would like to still look into these others indices and see what they got going on for the same area. And Q actually is building up money. Okay. MQ is actually building up money where if this comes lower, I mean, a couple things can happen. Mitigate inside this area and then continue, or this can kind of shift and do something like this on a smaller time frame. Maybe create some sort of shakeout that I could see. YM. YM would be the one that I would be okay with looking into because the fact that we already swept these liquidities and it's also now maintaining its structure is kind of a good sign for me in my eyes, where the fact that we swept and again we're floating above, this could give us some sort of opportunity for us to come in here and trade these areas. Now, if you wanted to find a specific, right, a overall entry point, then you could come into these areas and see what could we find. And so what we could do is you have this institutional push, but what I'm liking is I would like to trade the entire mitigation zone and leave no I guess no room for it to be like, damn, that was a quick snipe. So if we just use Fibonacci, right? Let me use Fibonacci real quick on you guys and show y'all something. But a 5 minute time frame, if we get into something like this, I mean, using Fibonacci from this low point to the high point here, the sweet spot would be here inside the 886, 786, right? That would be the nice sweet spot for a nice risk to reward. But the fact that we see, right, opportunity where, let's see, I could just see opportunity for it coming to this area just because there's that candle with no wick. And I like to find the true imbalance. I mean, even if we left it at the true imbalance, it would have to be down lower here into these areas. So it's like if you can actually choose this overall entry, put the stop loss below this wick here, and then go for a nice 1 to 3. Something like this. So yeah, I'm gonna give you guys let me give you guys pretty much 3 entries. Yeah, give you guys 3 entries. Now, with these 3 entries, you can determine which one you would like to get into. There's no right or wrong answer on which one you would like to participate in. The only difference is that one of them and the other one is going to give you a different risk to reward at the end of it all. And so, with these entries, give me a second. Bottom entry 2, and then this would be entry 3. I think that's fair right there. I'm going to show you how you can determine your overall entry point. Me personally, I would do entry 2. I like the entry 2 format. So, right there. And so here, going back to what I just said, entry 1 is pretty much just into this whole imbalance that we see that's not filled in. Typically with candles, guys, especially with imbalances, they usually always come back some sort of time and place to fill in once again. The only thing is that these candles, they haven't got filled in. So the current question is, when will that happen? I mean, it could happen now. And so if it fills in, it'll actually balance out the amount of buyers that are inside these candles here. We're coming back into this area, we could fill this in. The other thing I like about my entry too is that if this is all liquidity that's being built up, I would like the market to actually come into this area, sweep out those liquidities, and then continue up to the upside, is what I'm liking. On this 1 minute time frame between 5 minute, I'm liking how it's maintaining this overall structure point above, where this is kind of keeping me just glued to my overall setup and supporting the idea behind it. Now, if you go for entry 1, it's because you want the overall, imbalance to be filled in here. And that would actually be a nice sweet spot for you just because of the fact that that is an 886 entry point. So if you are trading like the 886 entry point, I mean, your risk to reward will actually change on you. Very great. Maybe like a 1 to 5 right there if you actually manage it correctly. But here for that nice 1 to 2, sweeping out that liquidity is what I would like to see. But if you're going to go for that entry 3, you can see your risk to reward change on you where now it's going on a 1 to 2 R. And if we go down to that 1 minute time frame, remember the reason why we have that entry 3 there is because there's this candle, right, with no wick. Now, I'm not like the biggest no wick person trader, but if it is inside the zone, I do pretty much showcase it to you guys where you can look into that. But I think the best entry points would be risk entry 2, right? And if you really wanted to go down, like maybe on a 45-second time frame, you can see here where now this entire imbalance is showcasing this area. And I mean, we can go on like every candle has no wick, so I'm not going to go too deep into that and overcomplicate the trading. I think I think I'm pretty happy, and the best would be trading this area here for my buying power for MYM. Let's zoom out real quick, see what's going on with these markets on the bigger time frame. I mean, also depending, right? Depending on what can happen, like you could see that this level here, this last lower low point, the market actually didn't trade below it. It closed above. So that's also could be a good sign for maybe this good 5 minute time frame for us to actually get into, right? Support the idea right there. But it's almost that time, 4 minutes from now. And if this holds, I mean, could this actually come up here and liquidate that? Let's see here. NQ, well, nothing crazy for me for NQ. Mm, okay. Nice, nice. Let me search something up real quick. Give me a second. Give me a second here. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at here. I think we'll be pretty good with that. This idea. Mm-hmm. Let's see how well this market's gonna go. Currently, I'm gonna look at something else right now. I'm just kind of going back and forth with these setups here. So let's see. Yeah, the best one would be MYM. I think I would really consider MYM to be that overall trade that we should honestly participate in just because I mean again you can go back and forth and look at your setups and I mean share in the chat what you think, but seeing the good quality type of setup here on MYM with how it supports the idea would be an actual better trade idea to see here. Starting to see money being built up, so I'm sticking with this. You have overall 3 entries here that you get to pick out right there. So you just let me know what you think and which one supports your overall trade idea from that. But here, I think we do have some good stuff. I think we have some good stuff here. Now, one thing is, I do want to look at oil real quick. So for oil has been one of my favorite pairs to actually participate and trade in. Um, but as of right now, not really. With how the market has been looking like, I just have not been able to find opportunity in there. I mean, as oil was just working its way lower and then now just creating a nice reversal where it's like so nice and pretty, no like choppiness, but like just very smooth, turn back to the upside. I mean, here with oil, I've been more of a bigger time frame trader for oil. I'm not really something that's going to be looking at smaller time frames if I don't have to, just because again, oil just looks more clear for me whenever we are on a bigger time frame rather than these smaller time frames. And so we're going to kind of put oil to the side right now. Now for gold, why did I mark this up? Why did I mark this up? I don't remember why I marked this up. I don't really trade gold. Curious to know if it was somebody else that got onto this. And yeah, pretty cool. I know it sounds crazy. How can someone log into your stuff? You can actually share profiles of people if you have the premium access one. It's a pretty cool feature. You should look into it. Yeah, that definitely wasn't me. But for gold, I'm not really the gold person for you guys. Never really traded gold. Not my cup of tea. Bitcoin though is and had always been with me after I actually started to trade the cryptos and actually pretty cool. But the only thing with crypto is like if we're gonna get into certain areas, it's really more of a patient game. But even when I do find these certain opportunities, you have some areas like Solana, you have some areas like BTC that have opportunity. as of right now, there's not really much of an opportunity that I could find here for, these cryptos. I mean, you can actually see on a leverage trade, there's just all this liquidity being built up there specifically, and just continuing. There's not really much going on here except for that. But let's see here. MYM still in here. Looks like it's actually starting to move a bit more lower, right? But again, you determine your entry point. I'm here just to kind of show you and share with you what I think when it comes down to these trade ideas. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm just stretching. I know this is not really a portfolio talk, but I hope that many people have been paying attention to the portfolio side and have been looking into investing. And when I say the word I'm investing, I know what goes through people's head is either I don't have a lot of money, either I don't know what to invest in, or just so many things, right? I just think so many things go through people's heads when they hear that. And I want to say don't complicate it. Don't complicate projects. I mean, we can go through an entire list, but this is not really the crypto call for it. But one thing I will say is like many people overcomplicate the investing part, which makes them not participate at all, and they miss the overall movement. And I just think that you doing that really could mess up like that great opportunity that you will have whenever you are, you know, looking for these trade ideas, right? And so, give me a second. I'm trying to find something. Just can't find it. Give me a second. Mm, give me a second, guys. I'm just trying to pull up these scanners here. I just can't find like I'm not sure why they're not loading up. Let's see here. I have the screen open for you guys, so that way we don't miss out on it. Hmm. I mean, what the heck? Mm, commodities. So let's see here. This has to be lagging behind. Look at this. I saw that. Oh, crap. Share the wrong screen. I'm looking at the market right now, and I'm just like, okay, I'm on NQ for indices on TradingView, and I'm seeing that the scanner's giving us an idea. And that's a big stop loss though. The good thing is this, even though it's showing us and it's scanning this idea for NQ for a long-term push, which is TP2 almost 2,500 pips. you can use this in your favor and just say like, hey, at least the directional standpoint is it's looking good. You see the chat real quick. Like yeah, so you can use that for that standpoint, actually look into that. I say the directional standpoint's actually on my favor. Then you have, yeah, the market just doing this. So we'll see. We'll see how that one ends up. Pretty interesting. Yeah, just Richard comment, Janice. Like, yeah, portfolio side is probably one of the best things you can do with inside the markets. I've enjoyed it. My oof for a while, man. Let's see. Let's see here. Yeah, I guess it's not there no more. Okay, interesting. Gonna have to see what the heck is going on there. Yeah. Okay, so MYM, I mean, it's those days. You gotta be patient with it. Right? Mark up the chart and wait for it. I mean, we have NQ into these areas here as well. So we're waiting for these to play out. Let's see here. But no opportunity for me for NQ, no buys or sells. I would like to actually get into this here. This will be my bread and butter for the day. But for us to get that, I mean, could we get that pretty soon? Mm, we'll see. We'll see. Mm, all right. Well, really not that much that I have for you guys, but except for just keep an alert out for those ideas. Because other than that, going scanning through the entire market, except for currencies, I mean, unless it's more of like portfolio talking, this is not really the call for that. But I would say though is keep those charts active, keep those notes open, keep keep it going. And I mean the best setup that I pretty much will be looking into would be obviously there. So other than that, guys, hopefully next call or so I would be breaking it down more into easier lessons, easier perspectives to kind of look at these markets and kind of you find your groove from behind it. So other than that, I hope you have a great Tuesday morning. Let's get it. Let's get it running with and